So we're back again with another week of gaming news. A little late, but you know, we're doing the thing. I'm gonna assume everything up here is correct because I did change it. I'm not gonna look. And don't tell me if it's not. You know what? Do tell me, but do it in the comments. We got not a lot of stuff, but we got there was some news. There was some news that happened, and I'm sure everyone already heard about it, but we're gonna go over it. But we'll save that for probably the end. We'll do a whole chunk of Xbox last, because it's just a lot. There's so many follow-up stories, so we'll do basically everything else first. So let's start off with developer Unknown Worlds. The studio behind Subnautica has randomly lost its leadership team. This is Andy Robinson, VGC. So on Wednesday, this past Wednesday, yes, because we are caught up, we're not far in the future, owner Krafton announced that CEO Ted Gill, co-founder and creative director Charlie Cleveland, and co-founder and technical director Max McGuire have all left the studio effective immediately. Leadership left despite its efforts to keep them involved in the game's development. The company wishes them well on their next endeavors. No reason was given for the departures, and neither Gill, Cleveland, nor McGuire has issued statements. Cleveland and McGuire co-founded Unknown Worlds in the early 2000s. The company was best known for Half-Life mod Natural Selection, purchased by PUBG owner Krafton in 2021. Steve Papautis, I can't. Previously CEO of Striking Distance and GM of EA's Visceral, will take over as Unknown Worlds CEO. Importantly, Krafton is confident that Stevie P, with decades of experience behind the planning, development, and production of some of the highest rated game franchises, will bring renewed energy and momentum to delivering the long-anticipated Subnautica 2 experience to fans, the publisher said. But here's the thing. There's no word on why, still no word on why they left. It doesn't seem like they were let go or anything. It's possible, anything's possible. They could have been upset about leadership above them. They could be going off and doing their own thing together, like like a bunch of those developers from Japan did. I forgot which ones, but they all made their own. They were like, hey, come work with us if you want to work on cool games. And then some of them did. We'll hear about this. There's no way these three top level or mid to high level dudes are just gonna not do anything else. We'll see. But that's very random. They all just left at the same time. They tried to get them to stay, but they did not. Next, we got an update on some of the worst Ubisoft employees ever. This is Chris Scully in VGC. So 3 former Ubisoft execs received suspended prison sentences at harassment trial. So these are some of the worst Ubisoft employees. The story does contain references to sexual and racial harassment. So keep that in mind. I'm not going to go into too much detail, but there's some bad things here. The trial of former CCO Serge Hascote, former Vice President of Editorial and Creative Services Thomas Francois, and former game designer Guillaume Petrux initially started in March, but was adjourned until early June following a request from lawyers to have more time to get familiar with the case's documents. They were accused of systemic, psychological, and sexual harassment, with alleged behavior including the watching of porn in an open plan office, commenting on the appearance of female staff, regular public humiliation and hazing, and attempted sexual assault where he allegedly tried to forcibly kiss a young employee during a Christmas party as she was held by other colleagues. Now that's wild. He was also found guilty of moral and sexual harassment and attempted assault, 3-year suspended prison sentence, fine of $35,000, lewd behavior, intrusive questions, racist comments. There was one, this one was pretty, I mean, you know, all forms of harassment are bad, but this one is just like, what are you doing? Hascote was alleged to have asked a Muslim employee if she supported ISIS and to have been responsible for her PC desktop image being replaced with photos of bacon sandwiches and food being placed on her desk during Ramadan. Why didn't anyone just punch this dude in the face? Take out his kneecaps. Huh? 18-month suspended prison sentence. Fine of $53,000 basically. They worked on The Crew. They worked on, what is this, Watch Dogs. They worked on a lot of stuff. So they were, again, the worst Ubisoft employees ever. And good riddance. Hopefully their kneecaps get taken out. Next, Let's talk about Techland, developers of Dying Light. Jordan Midler, VGC. Exactly, XP, exactly. So 2 games in development by this company have been canceled. The Polish developers reported losses of 130 million Polish zloty, approximately $37 million, according to Polish business outlet Pulse Business. These losses have been attributed to our decision to discontinue further work on 2 projects. It's currently unclear which projects have been affected. They've been asked for comment. I don't think any comment has been made. They were working on a new open world fantasy action RPG. No details, and really no details on the other one, which new IP includes several former CD Projekt Red staff. Open world fantasy, yep. Continue Dying Light franchise. So they canceled 2 games probably to focus work on Dying Light. Who knows? There's no mention of what these games. There was no announcement for these games or anything. So again, just more things. It's gonna get worse from here, gamers. Don't worry. Just like Anthem. I was surprised this story wasn't more front page. This is Rebecca Valentine, IGN. So it's officially announced that EA will shut down Anthem in January, which is months away. EA has announced to shut down BioWare's Anthem January 12th, 2026 because Anthem's only content is online. This means the game will be unplayable after that date. I honestly thought this game was already unplayable. I hadn't realized that it was still going. Premium in-game currency will stop being sold today, July 3rd, though existing balances will still be able to be used until Anthem shuts down. The game will be removed from EA Play on August 15th of this year, but will still be available for download if it's already in your library until it officially shuts down. Launched in 2019, lukewarm reviews. It kind of just, I feel like, disappeared. Like, it was just off the radar for a couple years. Because I really thought it was already shut down. But it's going to be fully, officially just deleted in January. So, hey, get your Anthem games in, gamers, while you can. I don't know if anyone, I don't know if any concurrent player facts have been listed here. No. I didn't know that anyone was still playing that game. Okay, we're going to skip the Xbox stuff. We're going to go into the other smaller news. So some Switch 2 stuff is expected to be increasing in price in Canada. This is Andy Robinson, VGC. Nintendo announces Switch price increases in Canada amid US trade tension. Nintendo has confirmed it will raise prices for many of its products and services in Canada due to market conditions. Affected products include Nintendo Switch. Okay, it's the original stuff, the original Switch stuff. So, Switch OLED models, Nintendo Switch, Switch Lite, physical and digital Nintendo Switch games, and Nintendo Switch accessories. So it is accessories and the older consoles. Other Nintendo products include Amiibo and Nintendo Switch Online memberships will also see increased prices. Nintendo said the Switch 2 along with its accessory software will remain at their current price points because they're already super expensive. So anything current gen or previous gen Switch looks like it's going up. Be shared on the Nintendo Canada website, and August 1st is when you'll see accessory prices increase and membership prices increase. Membership price increase is kind of wild, honestly. It's all tariff, trade talks, stuff like that. So, hey, Canada, watch out. You're about to pay more money. Next, speaking of more of Nintendo, is there a conspiracy between Amazon and Nintendo? Maybe. But they did deny any conspiracy, but there might be a conspiracy. So this is Chris Sculling, VGC. So both companies deny that there's a conspiracy. So according to a new report on Bloomberg, which cites a person familiar with the situation, Nintendo made the decision to stop selling its products to Amazon US because of the way the site integrates products sold by Amazon itself and those sold by third parties. Again, they're denying all this happened, but strange things were happening. The report claims that Nintendo noticed some third-party marketplaces on Amazon were selling Nintendo games at a lower price. Bloomberg's source says that some sellers were buying Nintendo products in bulk in Southeast Asia and then selling them on Amazon's US store. Also claims that Amazon offered to attach labels to products to guarantee they're authentic, but Nintendo didn't think this offer went far enough and instead opted to pull its products from Amazon US. So the conspiracy is that Nintendo saw this happening and was like, all right, Amazon, now you're not allowed to sell all of our things directly. So all of the shipped and sold by Amazon stuff was unavailable. Only the third-party sellers were selling things, which there are multiple corroborated reports that Amazon had nothing, and only third-party sellers had stuff, which was super sus. Nintendo has denied the report, with a spokesperson telling Bloomberg over email, there is no such fact. We do not disclose details of negotiations or contracts with retailers. And Amazon also said the claims made by Bloomberg regarding our relationship with Nintendo are inaccurate. Company spokesperson didn't specify which of the article's claims are wrong. But now everything seems to be okay after the story came out. But it's very suspicious. Conspiracy? I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see. It also really doesn't matter. Everything's fine now. Next up, we've got some bittersweet news for those Last of Us HBO fans. This is Jordan Midler, VGC. So Neil Druckmann is stepping away from the Last of Us TV show to transition complete focus on game development. So Neil Druckmann is the boss at Naughty Dog, the creator and like lead person on Last of Us, everything Last of Us. He's now stepping away from the show, most likely to just focus on the games, which is fine. I'm sure he's passed off plenty of stuff for the remainder of the show. But he said, I've made the difficult decision to step away from my creative involvement in The Last of Us on HBO. With work completed on Season 2 and before any meaningful work starts on Season 3, now is the right time for me to transition my complete focus to Naughty Dog and its future projects, including writing and directing our exciting next game, Intergalactic: The Heretic Prophet, along with my responsibilities as studio head and head of creative. Co-creating the show has been a career highlight. It's been an honor to work alongside Craig Mazin to executive produce, direct, and write on the last 2 seasons. I'm deeply thankful for the thoughtful approach and dedication the talented cast and crew took to adapting The Last of Us Part 1 and the continued adaptation of The Last of Us Part 2. So, no more Neil Druckmann in the show. I mean, maybe he'll be some sort of consulting force or something, but he's gonna focus fully on the games coming out, which is great. I'm all about that new Intergalactic game. Looks pretty sick. Hopefully the show doesn't, suffer because of this. All right, next. The Mind's Eye people are still in denial about their game, according to the story. This is Wesley Yimpel, IGN, and a lot of the workers have been given a warning about their jobs. So this is kind of long, but TLDR is that a lot of the 300 of the workers received emails saying that their jobs were at risk, as well as, who was it that was saying the things? Who's this Benzies person? I forgot what was their job title. Former GTA lead Leslie Benzies. I guess someone up there was saying funny things about this whole conspiracy against Mind's Eye. Barb, Build a Rocket Boy sources told IGN that Benzies finally addressed staff following the release of Mind's Eye in a brief video call yesterday, July 2nd. According to 2 people present who asked not to be named in order to protect their careers, Benzies insisted Barb would bounce back and relaunch Mind's Eye, blaming the studio and the game struggles on internal and external saboteurs, among other things. The comments echo those by Mark Gerhardt ahead of the release of Mind's Eye. The co-CEO hit the headlines for claiming there was a concerted effort by some to trash the game, and the studio suggesting people were being paid or using spam bots to post negative comments. Huh? Have they seen the game that they released? Have they seen the game that they released? Why are they saying these things? Who's sabotaging? How are they being sabotaged? Because the game just doesn't work good. Game not good. Own up to game not being good. People are wild. Next up, Helldivers 2 is coming to Xbox. Finally. Jordan Miller VGC. This is exciting stuff. It's a little drop of W for Xbox in a sea of L from this past week. The online co-op shooter, which was released PS5 and PC last year, will come to Xbox Series S and X on August 26th. Developer Arrowhead has announced. So it will be crossplay, of course. You can pre-order it now. Everyone's excited. They posted a cool thing on Twitter, which is super hype. Let's bring this up. It's so cool. It's so cool. The music's awesome.
Master Chief, You mind telling me what you're doing in that hell pod?
This rules.
Sir, liberty.
Liberty. This is so hype. If they put Halo skins in the game, oh my god. Oh my god. That rules. That's like the hypest Halo thing to come out in the last few years. It's so awesome. I'm excited for that. Mostly for the possibility of skins and stuff Halo themed, because you know, then they start getting some real money from me. Let's do chat picks. Again, the Xbox stuff is long. The whole stop killing game stuff. This is Emma Clark, IBI Times or IB Times. So there was a couple petitions going on overseas, gaining hundreds and hundreds of thousands of signatures. Basically, TLDR, after you know, one of our esteemed chatters explained it, and then I further read into it. So they're trying to get lawmakers to make sure that when game companies release the game, that they don't lose access to the game after support ends for the game, which is 100% valid. More and more, that's happening. That's happening more and more often. Where, and you can see, like, look at Anthem. Their games are being released that are fully online services, and then a statement was released by Video Games Europe. This is Stevie Bonifield on PC Gamer. So the statement was basically saying, I mean, we can read this statement. It's not that long. We appreciate the passion of our community. However, the decision to discontinue online services is multifaceted. Never taken lightly, and must be an option for companies when an online experience is no longer commercially viable. We understand that it can be disappointing for players, but when it does happen, the industry ensures that players are given fair notice of the prospective changes in compliance with local consumer protection laws. Private servers are not always viable. Alternative option for players, as the protections we put in place to secure players' data remove illegal content, and combat unsafe community content will not exist and would leave rights holders liable, yada yada yada. Kind of a tone-deaf, half-hearted response. I don't know why they felt they needed to respond, because I think both petitions got enough signatures to have lawmakers look at it. By the way, it got huge when PewDiePie here endorsed it. That's when it got super huge, these signatures. Before they, I think their goals, they were like close to 1 million, and then the other one was also close to their goal of like 100,000. Yeah. So the EU one needed 1 million. The UK one needed 100,000. I think they both hit their goals. And then PewDiePie boosted it. My thing is, yes. Yes. Stop killing games. Yes. Games should not be killed like that. But also, developers definitely cannot support fully online games indefinitely. It's just not, that's just not possible. Which is what they're saying. But the remedy is just don't make the games like that. Or build in just a local co-op mode or single player mode into those games. What is this response? That it's just like you can't avoid it. That doesn't make any sense. Just make it so that it doesn't happen. It's just do that. And I get it. Making games is super hard. You can't just do a lot of things. But just don't make the game, just don't start off making the game like that. Have a different plan. What is it? What is this? So we'll see what happens to this. Hopefully something good happens and that the petitions aren't completely ignored, because that would suck. This has the potential of turning into the thing with the Apple Lightning cables, right? Where it started overseas in the EU. They said, you gotta start using USB-C. And Apple's like, okay, I guess. Hopefully that happens. Last chat pick. Make sure you don't use high-speed, or make sure you do use high-speed HDMI for your Switch 2 gamers, because for some reason it makes the controllers not work. This is Rebecca Ballantyne, IGN. So apparently, if you use a non-high-speed HDMI with your Switch 2, because a lot of people are just leaving their existing HDMI from their original switches in the television and plugging in the new one. Your Joy-Cons just don't work. I don't know how the two correlate with Joy-Cons disconnecting and an HDMI cable, but apparently this is corroborated fully. So you have to make sure, if you're not using the HDMI cable that came with the Switch 2, that you are using at least a high-speed HDMI cable. That's an easy fix for that. It's an ultra high-speed, actually. Not just high-speed, an ultra high-speed HDMI cable. Because the Switch is so powerful, it needs an ultra high-speed cable here. And now, we dive into the world of Xbox. They've had their drop of W. Time to go into the sea of L's. Starting with the Seattle Times confirming 9,000, at least 9,000 employees being laid off at Microsoft. This is, where is the author here? Alex Halverson in the Seattle Times. You technically need a subscription to have full access, but they give you like trial time to read the story. We'll go to the VGC article just to get the overview here. This is Andy Robinson, VGC. But the original report was off of Seattle Times, which does this cover the AI stuff? I don't think this one covers the AI stuff, or does it? It doesn't. Okay, it's just in the Seattle Times one. So according to Seattle Times, Microsoft said that as much as 4%, or roughly 9,100 of the company's total employees across all departments, including gaming, could be affected by Wednesday's layoffs. We continue to implement organizational and workforce changes that are necessary to position the company and teams for success in a dynamic marketplace, a Microsoft spokesperson said. In a message sent to all staff, Microsoft's head of gaming Phil Spencer stated that the cuts were designed to end or decrease work in certain areas of the business and follow Microsoft's lead in removing layers of management to increase agility and effectiveness. So according to Bloomberg, the King division is cutting 10% of the staff, about 200 jobs. ZeniMax have begun informing employees that job cuts are underway. Rare has also been affected. We'll go through the individual stuff, individual updates. A lot of Jason Schreier updates. So you got the full email from Phil Spencer. So it's a long one. I'm not going to read the whole thing because there's a lot of stories to go through and it sucks. But Microsoft has a market cap of over $3 trillion, making it one of the world's richest companies. And in most recent quarter, the company reported nearly $30 billion in profits. Imagine having $30 billion in profits and needing to cut 10,000 jobs. Huh? Imagine putting $1 billion of those dollars to keeping those jobs. More layoffs, Xbox, ROG Ally stuff. Yeah, it doesn't mention the stuff over here at the bottom. Okay, so here. The AI costs balloon. As Microsoft cuts corporate ranks, the company is investing heavily in artificial intelligence. Microsoft's push into AI doesn't mean the company is replacing workers with the technology, rather the significant cost of building out the infrastructure over multiple years has Microsoft looking to trim costs where it can. During the company's 2025 fiscal year, which ended Monday, Microsoft said it planned to spend more than $80 billion in infrastructure to meet AI demands. That's a $25 billion increase in capital expenditures from last year. That's an insane amount. Roles affected during layoffs in May and June include some that could be changed by AI-driven efficiencies. Software engineers were hit the hardest, yada, yada, yada. So a lot of the jobs they're saying that theoretically could have been replaced by AI. But Microsoft has not confirmed that, obviously. Because everyone knows from all the companies pushing AI and all the, internet white knights for AI, it's not taking people's jobs. No. Not doing that. 10,000 jobs are gone. Again, it's not confirmed, but it's assumed some of them could be replaced by AI. So going through the wake of this, Everwild has been canceled, which is insane. They put a lot behind this game over the years. This is Andy Robinson, VGC. Rare's long in development original IP Everwild has been canceled. According to the people with knowledge of the project, team members were informed of the news, which comes amid significant layoffs across Microsoft and Xbox, which were formally announced on Wednesday. Employees are likely to lose their jobs as part of a broader restructuring of Sea of Thieves developer Rare. And then Microsoft confirmed it. So we'll get to the next one, which is Perfect Dark. A lot of people leaving. Everwild has been in development for over a decade, with anonymous developers indicating that they had struggled to nail down a clear direction for the title, even after a recent reboot of the project. Rare first announced Everwild in November 2019, and released another trailer in 2020. Updates on the game were scarce in the years that followed, except for gaming boss Phil Spencer's insistence that progress was being made on the title earlier this year. They've been promoting this game. They've been like, this is coming out and this is going to be revolutionary. It has been a while, and we've been able to give those teams time in what they're doing, which is good, and still have a portfolio like we have. It's like a dream that Matt Booty and I have had for a long time, so it's finally good to be there. We can give those teams time. And now it's been canceled. It's just like, I get it that there was no clear path. They probably have a lot of work done, as we've talked about other games where a lot of the development happened in the last couple years, as opposed to the 7 years of delays that it has. But they were really pushing this game for a while, and now they just axed it. Even though the money that they spent, and then going to Perfect Dark, as well as the developer being shut down. This is Jez Corden on Windows Central. So Microsoft is closing down the initiative after 7 years. The partnership with Crystal Dynamics will end, and Perfect Dark will be canceled. They released a trailer last year for this. Huh? Perfect Dark was on the chopping block as part of the layoffs and cuts, and it is now confirmed. 4% of global workforce, yada, yada, yada. And the initiative, the studio's being shut down. Look at this. This was cool stuff. It was almost gameplay, but it was cool. I was excited for this. Perfect Dark was set to be a revival of Rare's classic stealth IP from the early 2000s. The team at the initiative was set up in 2018 with studio heavyweights including leader Daryl Gallagher of Tomb Raider. Former team at Crystal Dynamics was working together with Microsoft on Perfect Dark, and that partnership will now conclude. And Microsoft is shutting down the initiative as a result of the game's cancellation. It will work with staffers to provide severance and support, and has encouraged developers affected to apply for other Xbox positions within the company to receive priority consideration. Another title they threw a lot of weight behind. Canceled, gamers. This is insane. And now ZeniMax, Matt Fuhrer is leaving. The ZeniMax Online Studios boss confirms departure amid Xbox project cancellation. Jordan Midler, VGC. Fuhrer's statement doesn't mention the canceled project, instead focusing on his tenure at the helm of Elder Scrolls Online. More than 18 years leading ZeniMax Online Studios. I'll be stepping away later this month. Studio and Elder Scrolls will be in great hands under the direction of new studio head Joe Burba, along with executive producer Susan Kath and game director Rich Lambert. It's, again, going over the cuts and everything. So no specific mention as to why, but they did cancel a secret project, and he's leaving. Interesting. Speaking of leaving, Greg Malis is also leaving. So the director of Banjo-Kazooie and Sea of Thieves. So according to multiple people at the studio who spoke with VGC anonymously, this is Andy Robinson, VGC, by the way. Malis will leave Rare following news of Everwild's cancellation on Wednesday. The designer had been directing the project since its team was restructured in 2021. Executive producer Louise O'Connor, another Rare veteran whose first project was Conker's Bad Fur Day on Nintendo 64, will also leave the company following Everwild's cancellation. Malis was one of Rare's earliest design hires, with his first credited game, Solar Jetman, releasing in 1990. Most prolific and celebrated game directors, helming Donkey Kong Country and its sequel, Banjo-Kazooie and Tooie, Grabbed by the Ghouls, and Viva Pinata. This guy's done a lot. He also designed Nuts and Bolts, Connect Sports, Sea of Thieves. He's worked on nearly 30 games at Rare. And now he's leaving. Suspicious. They're like wiping a lot of the old heads out off the Microsoft teams. Huh. Well, this sucks. And it's just gonna get more suck. Romero Games has shut down as well. This is Andrew Walsh at the Journal. This is more stuff. Romero Games, Doom Guy. So, Galway-based game studio Romero Games has shut its doors after funding was pulled by its publisher, leaving more than 100 staff without jobs. The publisher in question was never officially announced, so it is now assumed and kind of confirmed that it was backed by Microsoft, because like all of a sudden Microsoft does all these cuts and now their game is canceled as well as their studio. And they said in here that I don't think there was a statement from Romero himself, John Romero, but they were saying that in here they were meeting all the goals, they were hitting every deadline, everything was going good. Where does it say? They had a meeting with the publisher the day before this happened. There was no mention of it. The title was pretty well developed at the time. They're still trying to find funding because the funding's just gone, so everything's just shut down. It might have been a different one, but yeah, they said that it was such a surprise because they were hitting all the goals that they were being set by the higher ups, and then all of a sudden, everything's just gone. It's just, this guy's a legend. Doom guy. But don't forget, Halo's also been affected. This is Eddie McCooch, GameSpot. So not a lot of layoffs at 343, but a handful of people were let go. This article also goes on to say that they're struggling. They're not fully confident with what the several Halo titles that they're working on, and that it's not surprising. So there's not a lot of confidence behind the newest Halo project. It says here, Halo Studios has multiple upcoming Halo games in the works, and not all of them are progressing entirely smoothly, it seems. A developer told the site, I don't think anybody is really happy about the quality of the product right now. There's been a lot of tension and pep talks right now, trying to rally folks to the ship. Ugh. Microsoft announced they would share more details on the future of Halo in October. All eyes will be on the studio following the disappointment of Halo Infinite. Also, it's not 343 anymore. I forgot it's Halo Studios. It's Halo Studios, not 343. I guess we have to wait till October to know for sure what's going on with Halo, but apparently people on the inside aren't too excited about it. So now going on to some aftermath of the aftermath. Matt Turnbull, he did a dumb. This guy did a dumb. This is Andy Robinson, VGC. So he did a LinkedIn post basically promoting AI and ChatGPT stuff. So he posted on LinkedIn, these are really challenging times, and if you're navigating a layoff or even quietly preparing for one, you're not alone, and you don't have to go it alone. Because he was also executive producer on Xbox games like Crackdown 3, State of Decay 2, and Forza Motorsport. Because he has also been laid off, and he has deleted this post. I know these types of tools engender strong feelings in people, but I'd be remiss in not trying to offer the best advice I can under the circumstances. I've been experimenting with ways to use LLM AI tools like ChatGPT or Copilot to help reduce the emotional and cognitive load that comes with job loss. Here are some prompts, and he lists a bunch of just useless garbage. He posts some prompts such as, what kind of games industry jobs could I pivot to with experience in this? Here's my current, rewrite this resume bullet to highlight impact and metrics. Write a warm intro message for reaching out to someone at X Studio about a job posting. I'm struggling with imposter syndrome after being laid off. Can you help me reframe this experience in a way that reminds me what I'm good at? No AI tool is a replacement for your voice or your lived experience, but at a time when mental energy is scarce, these tools can help you get unstuck faster, calmer, and with more clarity. I hope this helps. And people are like, huh? Eric Smith, a ZeniMax online producer affected by this week's layoffs, replied, Jesus Christ, read the room, dude. Game designer Paul Murphy wrote, I'm sure you're trying to help, but what the fuck? You hired these folks once. At least give them the respect they've earned and assume they have the ability to write their own resumes. What is he thinking? What is he thinking? What are you thinking using Copilot for your therapy? What are you doing? What a silly thing for him to do. I can't believe that happened, but it did. Next up, Arcane founder blames Game Pass for the cuts and not AI for some reason. So this is Andy Robinson, VGC. This dude really dunks on Game Pass with no actual metrics. I don't know. So Rafael Colantonio, who directed the original Dishonored game before his departure in 2019, made the comments on social media following the huge cuts across Microsoft. Why is no one talking about the elephant in the room? Cough, cough, Game Pass. I think Game Pass is an unsustainable model that has been increasingly damaging the industry for a decade, subsidized by Microsoft's infinite money, in quotes. But at some point, reality has to hit. I don't think Game Pass can coexist with other models. They'll either kill everyone else or give up. Went on to say, fed up with all the BS Xbox fed us around Game Pass. It's a long game that involves throwing a tsunami at the entire ecosystem of the industry. Only the gamers like it because the offer is too good to be true, but eventually even gamers will hate it when they realize the effects on the games. So this person really doesn't like Game Pass, but really doesn't like. It's fine to say Game Pass is a problem, but where are you backing up that it's hindering the industry? Because you can't just say, oh, it's because of Game Pass, and you say, well, why is it bad for the industry? Oh, look at the cuts. But where's the correlation there? Not everyone is critical of Game Pass, however. Rebellion CEO Jason Kingsley recently claimed that launching his game onto Game Pass has been a huge success for survival action game Atomfall. Microsoft has been a fantastic partner to work with. They've really leaned into helping us. They brought their skills and their skill to bear on our small project, and it's done really, really well for them. So they got a good deal. We got a good deal out of it as well. And Xbox player time is just going up and up. So it's hard to say that, like, how I just don't see where the correlation is between this round of cuts and Game Pass. When Game Pass is releasing tons of games, making them available for a wide variety of players, and specifically it's mentioned that AI has been an issue. So why go for, I just don't get it. I feel like Game Pass is something that for sure is not going to work for every developer, but it's working for a lot of the smaller developers 100%. Because look at all the cuts. Look at all the studios shutting down. But then again, which ones are on Game Pass? Because the other option is for everyone to spend $70 to $100 every couple months on a new video game if they want to play the video game. That's the alternative to Game Pass. So it's hard. Again, we're still relatively in the early days of all this. So who knows what's going to happen further on. We got a couple Xbox old heads are upset about Xbox in general. This is Andy Robinson, VGC. So a founding member of the Xbox team thinks that just Microsoft is completely abandoning hardware. Where is this? Founding members of the Xbox team has questioned Microsoft's multi-platform gaming strategy and said they believe the Xbox hardware business is effectively dead. Where does it talk about? There it is. The handheld is subject of, because they just announced the ROG Xbox Ally. Handheld is the subject of the latest video from Laura Fryer, one of Microsoft Game Studios' first employees, who now creates YouTube videos commenting on issues in the gaming industry. During her lengthy Microsoft career, she shipped numerous games as a producer, including the original Gears of Wars, was the director of the Xbox Advanced Technology Group. After leaving Microsoft in the late 2000s, she was general manager of WB Games Seattle and later Epic Games Seattle. So the latest video ponders the future of Microsoft's Xbox business, with the platform holder championing new cross-platform strategy under its Xbox Anywhere marketing. Explains why she's concerned it could represent the start of a slow exit from gaming hardware. But we've talked about this several times, where they've been saying that they're moving, or the writing's been on the wall that they're moving more towards publishing as opposed to hardware stuff. And they say Xbox Anywhere message is just marketing and style with no substance. It believes the ROG Xbox Ally, as essentially one of Asus's portable PCs rebranded, offers little attraction to customers or consumers. Obviously, as one of the founding members of the Xbox team, I'm not pleased with where things are today. I don't love watching all of the value that I helped create slowly get eroded away. I'm sad because from my perspective, it looks like Xbox has no desire or literally can't ship hardware anymore. So this ROG Ally partnership is about a slow exit from the hardware business completely. I think Xbox hardware is dead. There's only one way to find out, and that's just to wait and see if they release another console in the next generation, right? I think they will. I don't think they have a reason to not make a console at all. I feel like they've got to make something, whether it be large or small, because they just don't have any real reason not to, I guess. But again, we'll see, because the Play Anywhere stuff, that this is an Xbox stuff, is, it's taken off pretty good. Okay, the last story here, or technically second to last story here. There's even more people are upset. Former Blizzard president and Xbox exec says Xbox needs to pick their lane and stick to it. This is Chris calling VGC. So this is another person saying that they're confused. Xbox is confused about who it is and what it should be. This is Mike Ybarra, former Blizzard president. They don't like the same thing as the other story. They're saying that they should focus on either being console manufacturer or publisher, but you could see that they are definitely slowly moving towards publishing. And again, former Blizzard president, come on now. I feel like, again, they not much has shown that they need to pick a lane yet. There's no like underlying thing aside from AI that is showing that, hey, they really need to focus on this one or the other, because It's not like the Xbox hardware is currently tanking the company. It's not like the moving towards publishing is tanking the company. It's just, it's hard to see everything right now because it's still so very early. We've been talking about this for a while, but it's going to be probably a couple years before we see the full ramifications of the new business model that they're doing. But we can only wait and see. And the last story is this week's Dev Dub. We love the Dev Dub, and this is why we end on Dev Dubs, because we just did like 30 minutes of Xbox L's. So this week's Dev Dub goes to Rockstar. This is Claire Lewis, Polygon. This week's Dev Dub goes to Rockstar because in the year 2025, they've released new content for Red Dead Online. And it's a significant release. This Red Dead Online, it was like 2018, this game came out, or this service came out. They said that they were going to wean back in 2022. Multiplayer mode hasn't seen much action since Rockstar Games' 2022 announcement that it would be cutting back support for the game. But it has released new stuff. So this is the trailer. Strange Tales of the West. Let's watch it. We're good. It looks like a lot of fun. Strange Tales of the West Volume 1. They've got zombies. They've got gators. They've got cultists. They've got robots. Strange Tales of the West Volume 1. This actually looks cool. It's a significant release in the year 2025 for Red Dead Online. It's a bunch of new missions, and they're available now. So this is fueling rumors that there's going to be a Red Dead 2 remaster. Or remake. Probably remaster. Remake would be a little bit too much for that game, but a remaster, which would be pretty cool. So this week's Dev Dub goes to Rockstar for breathing a little bit of life into Red Dead Online in the year 2025. And that's going to be it for today, gamers. We're done. We did news. We were caught up. Gaming News Friday on a Sunday. We did it. That was draining with all the Xbox stuff. And it's still, we're still hearing stories. We're still hearing stories coming out of this. But thank you all for hanging out during news. Check out the links in the chat. YouTube, Twitter, Discord, TikTok. We'll try to have this VOD up tomorrow. And then some clips out as well. Yeah, the people dunking on Game Pass is a little weird. It's a little weird. Without any like metrics to show what they're talking about. It's hard. Again, it's hard to say. We're just out here reading the stories. We don't have any inside information at all, so we don't know. But it does seem off. But that's it for this week. We'll have some more gaming news this coming Friday, and then the Friday after that. Tune in after this for more game stuff. For New Game. We play New Game tonight. And then tune in next stream on Tuesday for more tiers. That's it for news, though. Thank you, everyone that hung out during chat. Thanks for everyone for chat picks. Make sure to put more chat picks in the Discord. Make sure to do more comments and likes on the videos and the VODs that come out. Especially the ones on TikTok and YouTube Shorts. Make sure to like and watch those over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Thank you so much. That's it for me for this week.